friends, today we're going to read April Foolishness. It was written by Teresa Bateman, she's the author, and Nadine Bernard Westcott was the illustrator. She's who drew all the pictures. So when we read this story, we're going to do a lot of paying attention to the pictures today because we're really going to be looking for clues that are telling us what's going on, maybe some things we want to look at and consider because it might not be what we think it is happening in this story. Also, we want to make sure we pay attention to the pictures because there's going to be some patterns, a pattern that emerges. And you might notice it, you might not. At one point I might point it out to you, but be on the lookout for a pattern that we see in this story. First of all, before we get started, let's look at this cover of April Foolishness. Let's see. Just going off of this picture, I think I already know the setting. So remember, the setting of a story is where it takes place. And where do we think the setting might be? Looks like a farm to me. I can tell because I see the barn. I see a bunch of farm animals like a cow and a pig. And then I also see an older couple, a man and a woman, and I see some younger children. So we'll figure out what their relationship is to each other as we go. And I'm pretty sure those are probably the main characters in our story. That's who our story is about. All right, you ready? Let's get started. Life on the farm keeps a gal on her toes. That's what Grandma thought as she flung on her clothes. She grinned, for the grandkids had come for a stay, and wouldn't you know it, they'd picked the right day. So already we need to think about what happens in April. And then let's look at the pictures in this story. So right now, we've already determined that the setting is a farm. Looking at that barn outside that window. But where is Grandma right now? She's not downstairs getting ready to work. Where is she? I think she is in her bedroom. The clue that gave it away is definitely her bed. And she sure is excited to have her grandchildren coming to visit her. And they're staying on the farm and helping Grandma and Grandpa get ready. So now, let's go downstairs in the house. And here we have, who is this? If on the previous page was Grandma, this must be Grandpa. And let's look at where he is. What clues in the picture tell me where he is? I see a refrigerator, so that must mean he's in the kitchen. So, Grandpa, the cows have got loose. I think Big Brown Bessie just stepped on a goose. So in comes his grandson. But if you look at how the illustrator drew the picture, all of a sudden there's a picture of the cows getting loose in the kitchen. Is that what's happening? Are the cows getting loose in the kitchen? No. What the illustrator did is she drew like a bubble, like a thought bubble that you might see in some books. But inside this bubble is what the little boy is saying is happening. So anytime we see Grandpa in the kitchen and one of the grandchildren comes in and is telling him what's happening on the farm, you're going to see it in this bubble. So what is he saying happened? Look, he says the cows got loose. They're jumping over the fence. They're stomping on the geese. The goose is saying the cows are ouch. So, do we want the cows to be loose on the farm? Why don't we want the cows to be loose on the farm? Let's think about that, and you can tell Mom and Dad. But I don't think that it's good to have the cows just wandering all over town in the middle of the roads. That wouldn't be good. Imagine, said Grandpa. Good gracious, alas. Then he poured some milk in a tall, frosty glass. So Grandpa does not think that it is a big deal for those cows to have gotten out. And look at him, he just got some milk out of the refrigerator. He's pouring himself a glass of milk. And he's not doing anything to run outside to stop those cows. I want you to stop and think, why isn't he doing anything about cows running around? We know it's April. Let's think. Let's see what happens next. Grandpa, oh Grandpa, the chickens are out. So now we have his granddaughter coming in, and she's telling him that the chickens got out. So not only are the cows out, but now the chickens are out. Oh my goodness, look. Where are they? Do you know what this is called, where the chickens live? That's a chicken coop. So all the chickens are out. And see, again, it's in this little bubble. They're squawking and squabbling and racing about. So what do you think? Do you think Grandpa's going to get up and run outside to fix this problem? He didn't with the cows. Imagine, said Grandpa. Amazing, oh my, as he popped some eggs into the skillet to fry. So not only is he not doing anything to get these chickens, it looks like he is just going about his morning. And what is that meal that we eat in the morning? Breakfast. He's just fixing himself breakfast. He's just fixing himself some eggs right there on the stove. Just fixing himself some eggs for breakfast. Grandpa, oh Grandpa, the pigs broke the gate. So here he is. He's just still fixing himself some eggs. But his grandson said that the pigs got out. Now, where are these pigs? What is this place called? They're in the garden. That's right, the vegetable garden where the farmer grows all of his tomatoes. And see, they broke through the gate and they're just destroying that garden. Now look at this right here. Do we know what that is? Yes, that's called a scarecrow. Do we know why farmers have scarecrows in their farm, in their gardens? Well, they're supposed to scare away these crows and these other birds so they don't eat the food. But I don't think that scarecrow's doing its job. Oh my goodness. Do you think the Grandpa is going to run out and try to do something about these pigs? What do you think? Let's find out. Imagine, said Grandpa. I'm really quite shaken. He reached in the fridge and he got out the bacon. So he's still going to fix his breakfast. He had some milk, some eggs. Now he has bacon. And he's not going to do anything about those pigs. Grandpa, oh Grandpa, the goats are all freed. What do you think? What can goats get up to? They like to eat all kinds of things. Oh my goodness. Do you see this? They're outside. Now you might not have this at your house. Do you know what this is? On this farm, when they do the wash, when they do the laundry, they don't put their clothes in the dryer. What they do is they hang them with clothespins on the line. And what happens to them on that line? While they're outside in the fresh air. That's how they dry. Now that might be different from what you do at your house. Oh my goodness, they're running around in a smelly stampede, just running through all of these nice clean clothes, and they might even eat some of them. What do you think? Is Grandpa gonna run out and try to stop these goats? What do you think? Let's find out. Oh, Grandpa, he's still just going about his morning. Imagine, said Grandpa. It's really quite scary. Then he sliced the goat cheese that he bought from the dairy. So he had milk and eggs and bacon. Now he has goat cheese, and he's slicing off slices of goat cheese to add to his breakfast. Have you noticed any kind of pattern yet? Grandpa, oh Grandpa, the sheep are all gone. Now it's the sheep. What do you think the sheep are doing? What could those sheep get up to? I heard that they're munching on somebody's lawn. So these goats are just relaxing, but they certainly are eating someone's nice flowers. I don't think I would like that if they came to my yard and ate my flowers. Imagine, said Grandpa. I hope things get better. He opened the closet and got out a sweater. So he went into his closet and he got out a hanger and took a sweater off. And if you notice, it says that the sweater is made with 100% wool. And do we know where wool comes from? It comes from sheep. Oh, look, she's serious now. She's pulling on his sweater and she's going, Grandpa, 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 oh, why won't you listen to me? The farm's going nuts. If you'd look, you would see. But Grandpa just grinned as he took out the bread and he popped him some toast for his breakfast instead. So he's just fixing toast to go with the rest of his breakfast of milk and eggs and bacon and goat cheese and now some toast. Then Grandma appeared. What a hullabaloo! Who's causing this noise, the grandkids or you? It's nothing, said Grandpa. Ignore them, I say. They're trying to trick me. It's April Fool's Day. Oh, so now we know what's going on. It's April Fool's Day, and he thinks that his grandchildren are just trying to trick him. Is that why he hasn't been going outside to fix all this? I think so. But honey, said Grandma, you'll find to your sorrow, it's not April Fool's Day today, but tomorrow. What happened now? What did Grandpa do? Look at him. He jumped out of his chair. And what is he going to do next? He's going to run outside, isn't he? Because now he goes, they weren't messing with me. Then Grandpa turned red and he gave out a roar. He sped through the kitchen and dashed out the door. Well, in are coming the grandchildren. And here's Grandma. She's just sitting down eating his breakfast. Grandma just smiled as she pulled up a stool. She nibbled his toast and she called. What do you think Grandma's going to say next? What do you think? April Fool. So is it April Fool's Day after all? It is. It is. So the kids were trying to play a joke on Grandpa, but it wasn't working until Grandma got involved. And look, is there a problem on the farm? Did the pigs get out? Nope. Are they eating the tomato plants? No, they're fine. Let's see. Here's the cows, here's the chickens, here's the goats and the sheep. All the animals are where they need to be. So Grandpa came inside and they all sat down and they had a lovely breakfast together after having quite the silly morning together. So did you like that story? I want you to tell Mom or Dad or sister or brother or anybody what you liked about that story. But I also want to ask, did you notice the pattern?